Hello guys, it's Randall with Bitraged. So what is going on with Bitcoin right now? If we look at the chart, this is the channel that we've been talking about. It's still playing out. It's still applicable. That hasn't really changed too much. We're still seeing this descending pattern play out. And if you look at the nature of the way this channel is playing out, it's playing out very much the way you should expect it to play out in the market. So there is an impulsive movement, a correction, impulsive movement, a correction, impulsive movement, bigger correction, impulsive movement, correction, impulsive movement, and it looks like we're just doing another correction for an impulsive movement down. That's basically what it appears to be doing, and that makes sense. Now, obviously, again, nothing has to happen in the market, and we've mentioned this multiple times in the past. You know, people will say, well, this has to happen or that has to happen, you know, the short squeeze and the big, you know, this and then, you know, nothing has to happen. But what we look at is patterns, and we look at how patterns work and how markets tend to flow. And when we see patterns play out and play out and play out and play out, the next move is just, you know, for instance, you know, we saw this play out like this. You set this up, you see that this is working out as a corrective pattern to move to the downside. If this plays out the same way, then it seems like a no-brainer. Just look for the confirmation to sell this. And obviously, if you don't get that confirmation, you don't do it. But if you get the confirmation, you know, it's going to be, you know, a good sell. There is obviously some other options that could happen. So, for instance, this right here was an ascending channel. What we had happen basically is we get to the top and we impulse down. Correct, impulse down. So we go from an ascending channel right into a descending channel. And what is possible is there's a couple possibilities for what people would see as a bullish idea. So we could have something, it doesn't have to be this pattern, we could impulse down further, which seems to be most likely. So, but let's just assume it's from this area. This could just continue to consolidate out or correct out. And if it does that, people would see this as, oh, we broke our channel. But how you break the channel is what's important. So we're breaking in a corrective manner. So we'd still expect to see this be a sell. And generally speaking, if it's a bigger corrective period, we might see a bigger impulsive movement down as well. So that's possible. We could also see this correct impulse, and then we could begin to see a ascending channel form. And if we see the ascending channel form, we know the descending channel would be a sell as well. So eventually it's going to break to the downside. That is also a possibility for a short-term bullish look. Most of the indications that I'm seeing from the market, most of the knowledge we have that we've been looking at, the most likely scenario is still for us to have some more downward movement in this area before we have a bigger corrective move to the upside. That is just the most likely scenario. But again, we need to look at the options. So how this plays out, if this corrects and impulses down, then obviously we'd get the confirmation on the impulse and we'd see it as a sell. But again, if we see it starting to move outward, still in a corrective manner, then we might be seeing more upward movement, which would be just, it could be a bigger bear flag, all right? Or it could be just forming an ascending channel up, which would sell. So understanding that is very important. The sooner that we find that bottom, the sooner that we allow the market to correct fully, means the sooner that the market will be able to move to the upside, which is what everyone wants. The other thing too is as soon as we start getting regulation in this market, the sooner we're going to see exchanges that are insured, exchanges that start offering insured and reputable regulated margin trading for cryptocurrency, which would be absolutely awesome. I would love to see that. We do have Bitfinex and BitMEX, but there are major issues with those exchanges. There is accusations of fraud, which seem to be very valid, and I would not margin trade my money on those exchanges. It's not insured, it's not safe, and there is very much concern that Tether could blow up very soon. If that happens, who's going to be left holding the bag? So, again, just watch how this unfolds. If it continues as a corrective pattern, we're going to still be expecting a sell. If we do see an impulsive movement up, if it's not wash trading, then that would definitely be a good sign. The market right now is not giving us signs of that. I know that there's people talking about, the Wyckoff schematics, and we're in the accumulation phase. Most of that is just a lot of nonsense and hoopla by people who really don't have a clue. People talk about, well, smart money's buying in right now. Smart money is not buying in right now. Okay? Smart money is buying in the market longer than most of you guys. Much longer than most of you guys. But smart money is not buying in right now. And if you see a news article saying they are, then you fell into the trap of believing the news. Because they don't publish that news and say, hey, listen, I'd just like to let you know that I'm putting $1 billion into the crypto market. So why don't you join me and make some money? No. They release the news because they have an agenda. They want you to buy in. All right. Now, I definitely believe in the market still. I definitely believe cryptocurrency is here to stay. But I do believe that we still have a rocky road ahead of us for a little ways. So you need to have the mindset that it's going to be okay. That we need to let it play out, see how it goes, see where it goes. And once we find the bottom, once we deal with the major issues in the market like Tether and Bitfinex, then I feel like we're going to have a good platform to build off from and maybe see cryptocurrency grow. If we see the Forex.com add Bitcoin, which there are rumors of that in the future, and we start seeing major margin trading brokers start margin trading Bitcoin, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge for the market. So I do not see Bitcoin dying. I do not see cryptocurrency dying. But it is important to be honest and understand that we're not in a bull market, that we're not being given bullish signals, that there is no bullish scenario right now that has panned out. So to purport that or to believe that, you're deceiving yourself. Before I close out this video, I am going to share with you a clip I recorded of wash trading, just for those of you who maybe are not sure that it did happen. I'll show you on the chart here. This move here was wash trading. I watched the whole thing. I recorded it, and at least part of this was wash trading as well. And I'm not saying that the bearish moves, none of the bearish candles were wash trading. There was, but obviously the point of wash trading is to try to move the price up, not to move it down. Right now, Bitcoin is gravitating downward, so there's really no purpose in them wash trading to move the price down. So I'll leave you with that. And again, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I wish you all the very best. Take care. So if you look on the right side of the screen, you'll see that this is pure manipulation going on. The lot size is exactly the same. The bids are the same. And they're just going buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. So it's obvious manipulation with wash trading. I believe that this was potentially a whale group that was trying to insinuate or get buyer momentum going, organic buyers to just buy in at this point, and it didn't work. It was a complete failure. So eventually the wash trading stopped. Market buying completely just halted for a while, and then it started to pick up a little bit. So based on this, even wash trading couldn't get a big bullish movement out of Bitcoin at this time. It just indicates that the market's not ready for it. The market needs to fully correct. We need to let that happen. But it also is, there's another point I want to make, and that is that in spite of this wash trading that happened on the 24th, Bitcoin is still reacting to our channel. It's still reacting to the market structure. It's still reacting to the patterns, the way it's supposed to in a large degree. So it still is allowing us the opportunity and the ability to understand to a great extent where Bitcoin is headed and to make those predictions the same way we do in Forex. So that is exciting to me. And it means that as this market grows and we start to see regulation come in and we start to see insured brokers take up Bitcoin, it's going to be an exciting time, guys.